Welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. Hi.
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 Hey, everybody. So, today we're going to be reviewing Irish Jam. And it's...
You're just leading right in, huh?
It's not a product that you're going to find in the store.
Damn.
It's not even going to find... you're probably not even going to find it in the streaming store in a lot of areas.
No.
But hey, we're back. And next to me is Mike, and next to me is Lamar. And we're a podcast about overlooked films and obscure films and Irish Jam.
Some of those films potentially might have wanted to stay overlooked.
Is a film.
It qualifies.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey.
This is going to be released on St. Patrick's Day, so celebrate with some Irish Jam and some Eddie Griffin, and you're going to find out. My first note, Lamar, is who butters your bread?
I'm a jam man myself.
Yeah, are you a jam it? You know, sometimes I like a little mix of butter and jam. How about that? You get a dope raspberry jam with a little sheen smear of butter.
Let me ask you guys this: what do you think Irish jam tastes like?
Shame.
If it were such a thing,
Yeah.
Hard work. It tastes like hard work.
hard work and shame.
Yeah.
Ugh,
It's like hard something.
it's a bad combination.
Residual Catholic guilt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Come from a Catholic background. I don't feel it's like I was trying to slight anyone.
That's a good job.
Well, yeah, like Paul said, this is our St. Patrick's Day episode. You might have assumed we were going to do something like Leprechauns 1 through 8, but no.
But this movie did it to itself.
Yeah. We're not
Spoiler, we're going to get there.
That's not some hacky. That's not the hacky podcast that we are with the low hanging fruit. And did you know there were 8 Leprechaun movies?
I did not.
Yeah, there are 8.
We didn't we watch like the reboot?
Yeah.
Okay.
They rebooted Leprechaun.
Yeah.
There's like Leprechaun 1, like back. It's back, baby.
They brought it back.
It's called Leprechaun Returns.
That's terrible.
It is?
I don't know.
No. oh, it should have been, yeah.
It might have been. I don't know.
Yeah, we did not try to choose a movie like Leprechaun.
Yeah.
I think Mike and I alluded to or said directly on the last podcast that we were looking for films, and if people have suggestions for next year, that's great. But one, we don't look for extraordinarily lengthy films. So that's going to be a problem with a lot of like very notable Irish films. They're like 3 hours.
They're also huge downers.
Yeah, and that was the big thing. Like, cool.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you found this little gem. I have never heard of this movie before.
No one had.
Well, this movie stars Eddie Griffin, and a big question I have through this movie is, does he know that he's in this film? And I actually have kind of a conspiracy about that running through. But let me read you some IMDb fun from 2006, Irish Jam. Upon discovering that their town is up for sale, crafty Irish villagers scheme to raise the money to prevent the buyout. They hold a poetry contest with a tempting grand prize, the deed to their local pub. What happens when a duplicitous American rapper emerges as the best poet around? Yeah, so there's a lot of scenes filmed with Eddie Griffin that I think, is there a stunt double? Is this a prank? Maybe he was never really in this film.
I'm interested to hear your little theory behind that.
Is Eddie Griffin a ghost?
After watching this movie properly, I truly believe it.
Yeah, I like Eddie Griffin, but I can honestly say I think he was the worst part of this movie.
Or the best part?
Or the best part, yeah.
With Eddie Griffin, he's good in small doses.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad that this movie didn't really have a large amount of focus on him like other comedy movies do with the main character. They take up like 90% of the movie and it's all just their shtick. He's not 100% into this movie. It's more like a 50%. So it's not insufferable.
No, I mean, he plays the same character in every movie. He just played it less well in this one, I think.
Guys, that's crazy. He's Jimmy in this movie.
Jimmy Jam, yeah.
Irish Jam, Jimmy Jam. Oh,
now we get it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The enthusiasm is dripping for this film, and the excitement is here. So this movie opens with a lot of stuff about, again, my first note is who's buttering your bread. So I don't know. This movie has two areas of narration, the beginning and the end. And that was very forgotten throughout this film.
Oh shit!
And
I've forgotten.
I'm going to tell you how to watch this film, like how to be prepared to watch this film. Between each scene, someone spins a wheel, and that's the emotional state of that scene of that movie.
Yeah.
It could be the most dramatic thing you've ever seen. It could be hilarious. It could be somewhat, I'm reasonable, but we're moving this plot along, and it's going to be guided by an insane soundtrack written for a different movie, which is probably Braveheart.
That's very apt.
So this movie opens with like the magic of Ireland. Like, Ireland is founded on the wish of 1,000 flowers that broke apart into 1,000 pieces on the kiss of a sunrise that saw the mountain of a turtle, but it smiled and went to sleep. And that's the beauty of Ireland, and we all live in its embrace now. And then you never hear a narration again until the end of the movie.
That's correct.
Also about the magic of everything. It's very magical.
It's a magical place.
Yes. And for all of our listeners listening in Ireland, write us. Tell us about the magic and the wishes and the flowers and the turtle and the seahorse.
Yeah, I see you guys out there. We have some downloads in Ireland.
Yeah, we're
So-
not making fun of anyone in Ireland. We're
Well,
just kind of
we're-
like making fun of the narration of this film.
I'm probably going to make fun of people in Ireland before this is over. So just get ready for
It's
that.
a St. Patrick's Day miracle.
It is, yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
say every image of Ireland that is depicted through American media that I see is actually quite beautiful. So
In this movie, it looked really
yeah,
beautiful.
so
Oh, yeah.
every time I see Ireland through any media in America, it's just wonderful and beautiful.
Well, this is kind of the offset tone for me in this film, where it's like really good cinematography. Like, here's like where the part of the island that they're at is, and we're like, oh wow. But then there's like bananas, like it's Eddie Griffin doing nonsense, and you're like, what?
It really takes you out of it.
Right. I was like, what? Like, you're kind of like in a cool like National Geographic or like biopic travel series, and then it's like bazoinks. Like, not really. You're like, what?
I think the movie does a good enough job of not making it too jarring when he pops in. There's like these beautiful Irish landscapes, and all of a sudden Eddie Briffin's like, "What's up?" It's like,
I like that you're like, it's not too jarring, but
it sounds worse than it is, but it's not too bad.
someone's buttering this guy's bread.
The bread will be buttered by the end of this movie. I guarantee it.
Someone's got to.
Yeah.
So yeah, after the stupid bullshit Irish exposition happens, there's like a punk rock priest who lives on the island,
Sure. Punky.
and like him and some dude are riding a motorcycle through a field of sheep to like tell someone some news because there's apparently some shit going down. They just found out they owe money. It took me a while to kind of wrap my head around why exactly this town is in trouble because
Yeah.
it sounded really stupid. And even when you find out, it's still pretty stupid. But
Well, stupid comes with a price because they're 10 million euros, if not more, in debt somehow.
right, so the
This
first
movie was like reasonably in debt.
the first issue was, they owe money. They owe $1 million, €1 million, or like 1.4 million.
Yeah, it's like
euros.
1.4.
But or else they face foreclosure, and that was for something. And if they don't pay it, some rich dick gets all the land. We find out later that this guy basically inherited the land that the town was on and owns the whole thing except for the pub, and everyone owes him like back rent or something.
Yeah.
And it's a really small town. It's what, maybe
Oh yeah, it's
30,
very small.
40 people. It's
Pretty
enough
much,
to
yeah.
fill a pub. It's probably more than that, but
Yeah.
It's enough to fill up, and it's true. Like they even make note, like this like is like a central focus of the town, and
Well, this
is where
town
people
is
go.
populated only by middle-aged drunks and one child. That is the entirety of this town's
that's
population.
very true.
I don't see what your problem is here.
I mean, it's where ultimately that's where I'd want to live.
It's a fun town,
Yeah.
and if you don't like children, fantastic, because this child does not talk like Tiny Tim.
Exactly. It's perfect. I'm glad you said that because I have Tiny Tim notes about this kid.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so they're wondering what to do. Some fucking chode named O'Malley. He's like, hey, you know what? Sometimes places do raffles and to help pay off things for towns. So why don't we raffle off the pub, and then we'll get enough money to pay off, or to keep this dick off our heels, and someone will own the pub that isn't us. And this seems like a real bad plan, because that means the one thing that this town owns would be owned by some rando.
And he can easily be
Right,
manipulated.
but-
yeah.
And maybe they have enough money.
Well, yes. Okay, so how they do it, I agree with you. But like if you thought about it for a second, you do have a little bit of control then who this actually goes to. Because like they do decide who is like the winner of this poetry contest.
Right, and then they're hugely disappointed by it.
That's the thing. Like Mike's totally right. Like if you thought about it, like I would want to interview the person. Let's know a little bit about this person. They're like, hell no.
Yeah.
Like it could be XYZ on that paper. I don't care what that person's name is. We're just going off the lyrical stylings or poetic stylings.
Yeah,
of
so
blank.
they hold a poetry contest.
They do.
Now we're in LA, and we see Eddie doing like a fat guy's taking my money back street rap kind of thing.
There goes that fatso taking his money back.
No one's giving him money for his raps.
No.
He gets home, collection notices there's cockroaches on his donuts.
Yeah, there was a cockroach in that donut.
Yeah.
And much like the idea of selling the pub, and that man said, it's shite.
It's shite. What was the collection agency that called? Like,
Well, like there's no way out or
Yeah.
something.
No deadbeat or no way out.
yeah, it was like no escape or something. He's talking to them. He's like, and he's weaving this yarn about why he can't pay. It's like someone had a problem with their scrotum. One of their nuts fell out.
Yeah, I made a comment.
Okay.
So, okay, I also like Eddie Griffin, and this is not a diss against him, but like I feel there's a lot of bloopers or after scenes that I've seen, or I'm sorry, deleted scenes. For example, on Peacock, you can rewatch Office episodes, and like every Office episode was like actually like 30 minutes or something, and then they like had to cut it. So all these extended scenes are like, oh my god, like, and then I'm reading all these articles that like a lot of these scenes were cut because they're like, yeah, they were just kind of like stream of consciousness improving this, and like you're like, oh my god, like these scenes are hilarious. Like these are like really, really cohesive and brilliant scenes. It seemed like Eddie Griffin probably went through an hour of like, I'm gonna freestyle. He's actually muted. Like if you heard the volume of him, like they like overdub the music to just be like, don't even worry about what he's saying. Like, yeah, I lost my nut, but like that's all. Then you hear just like this, yeah, like the jokes are like clearly like things he does not care about whatsoever.
Yeah, I think you're right. They clearly let him. I think he made up most of his lines in this movie. I don't think he had a script, and I think maybe he needs one.
Yes.
If you have a good editor, you can probably get away with that.
Maybe.
But if he's just spouting off anything at the top of his head.
It's ridiculous.
Stitching it together.
But like him and Deuce Bigelow 1 and 2 is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I know this movie sucks, but Undercover Brother I really enjoyed, and I thought he was good in that.
Yeah, he's fun. I mean, I'm not joking. Like he is funny.
Right.
But whatever's happening here, there's
Yeah,
just no chemistry of anything.
Something's off. Something's off. But anyway, so we're seeing the inside of his shitty apartment.
Psycho busted.
Yeah, his fiance, or she's wearing a wedding dress.
I have no idea.
And she busts down his door. She's like, you can get away? We're getting married. Why she wants to marry someone who's about to get kicked out of their apartment, I don't know, but she's into it. And he has to like run and escape through the window.
It seems like she wasn't into it, but she was forcing the issue of getting married. I don't know.
Well, she every time you see her, which is from time to time, she is wearing that wedding dress.
That's
So
true.
she's planning for something.
And her name is Psycho. Like that is how she is.
Oh,
billed.
is that how she's? I did not
Yeah,
see that.
that's how
Okay.
she's billed, and later refers to herself as that. I think in a dream state.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, so yeah, he's freaking out. So he's running outside, and a newspaper blows into his
Yeah,
face.
there's a magical wind.
And so this is again like this weird tone shift. I'm trying. There's actually two movies I could soundtrack reference this to: Holes and Chocolat.
Jesus.
I know, super weird throwouts. But like, there's now the movie's missing narration because you still hear these magical like windpipey chime sounds. It's like woo doo doo doo, and then like the newspaper flows into his face. Doo doo doo. I'm like, what is happening? Like,
Wait.
it's like a scene out of Karate Kid.
Okay, I need to backtrack a second. How recently have you seen Chocolat?
I don't know, like at least a decade
Okay,
ago.
okay.
But I remember the kind of the soundtrack and the narration.
I do not.
Yeah, like there would be like these she'd like narrate over and she's like, every season the wind would blow and that's when I would feel it. And then you'd hear like these like magical pipe sounds and she's like, and sooner or later I'd have to go and I didn't want that for my daughter. And it was like her struggle of like, I am Romany and I go where the wind goes.
I couldn't even tell you what Chocolat is about anymore.
Johnny Depp
I remember he's in it.
guessing what he likes out of chocolate.
He just likes, it's just Johnny Depp talking about chocolate.
And he's a river pirate.
Of course he is.
And people are trying not to eat chocolate. The movie I Love You, Man.
It's that, but with chocolate.
No, they talk about it. The two guys talk about it in I Love You, Man.
Okay.
Like it's like a long running thing. And then eventually Paul Rudd watches it and he's like, yeah, I finally watched it. That's a really good movie. You don't remember this?
No.
Well, we'll do an episode on chocolate. So.
I remember I Love You Man only slightly more than I remember Chocolat.
I've not seen either of those movies.
Well, it looks like we got to do something back to back. It's going to be an Easter weekend to remember.
It's going to be a long Easter weekend.
Next weekend, Rabbit Troop Sucks double feature.
That is not a promise for next week.
It is not
This
a promise.
Contract band.
No, that's not going to happen.
Rapid Troop Sucks does not represent Rapid Troop Sucks or any Rapid Troop Sucks opinions.
Take your name off of it.
Star swipe.
Okay, so yeah, he there's a magical Irish wind that blows this fucking newspaper.
The newspaper.
Apparently, this town that I think is called Bollywood.
Yes, it
okay.
is.
They took out a full page ad in the LA Times as well as
O'Malley's.
what?
I think they're like the local newspaper was like O'Malley's. And then,
That wasn't what Eddie Griffin was reading in LA though, was it? He wasn't.
no, I think you see like two shots. Like that was the American version, but then there's the O'Malley's local version.
Okay, but he read this in a newspaper in LA, which indicates that they took out full page ads across the globe
Yeah, sure.
for their contest, which probably cost a lot of money.
Or to just target LA.
But
I mean, honestly, that would be like real headlines for the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you would probably read about it, like Irish bar,
sure,
like
yeah.
just wants like next greatest poem,
Right, and he sees this, and it says, first prize is a pub in Ireland, and he says, I always wanted to live on an island. And then he has a fantasy babe montage where he's on an island that is in Ireland, but it's tropical.
That is correct.
Yeah.
It's more like Jamaica. There's like women in bikinis.
Yeah, they're
running
feeding him
around.
like pineapple and shit. Yeah. Because I don't know if we're meant to believe that he can't read very well and thinks that Ireland said island.
No,
or-
I think
Well, he thinks just any place away. Well, yeah, I guess island.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, now I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like, I
I think
don't-
he just thought it was an island.
Yeah,
instead of Ireland.
Yeah.
He's dyslexic.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
maybe
So I don't know
even-
what they were. I don't know what the joke there was, but whatever it was, he thought he was going to Jamaica.
So now we're actually back in Ireland.
Now we're in Ireland.
and we're in the pub Finnegan's, and they're having a town meeting, and it's down to two poems, and I think they raised, or I think they've discussed, they've raised over €1 million, so they're feeling good. But that is not enough. They're close, from what we understand. Again, 1.4. Okay, so we think so far. Weird, and they're down to 2. And they've nominated. I actually like this. They nominate, as Mike noted, it's a bunch of old drunks and a girl. They nominate the girl Kathleen. They're like, "You're going to be the tiebreaker." I do like this idea that she breaks the tie one way or another. I thought she was going to break the tie by like looking at each poem and like what was most meaningful for her.
No, she just picks.
Both the poems are face down. She chooses a piece of paper, and the tie is broken.
Right, the tie is broken, and they read this fucking poem.
Her mom Maureen reads the poem.
And this poem sucks.
It does.
It sounds like
Freedom.
So flashback. Flashback to a couple weeks ago with the movie Flashback. This poem is like any snippet of the weird nonsense that Dennis Hopper says in that movie. This poem is stupid,
but wins it.
They're like, and everyone's like, "Fuck yeah, this is a dope ass poem."
And
it
honestly,
speaks to me.
If it didn't happen at this point in time, there's like a connection with the young girl and later Eddie Griffin. And if she did not pick the poem, and again the wind chimes played, they probably should have, but I guarantee you they played soon after.
Yeah.
Again, scene by scene, is it I don't know, pulling at your heartstrings? Is it Psycho busting down your door? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Anything goes.
Anything does go. Well, now it's where it's probably some period of time later, and
There's jump cuts.
TJ. What I don't. Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Okay. In my notes, he's just TJ because that's his name in Deuce Bigalow. Short for Turkey Jizz, if you recall. They see the boat showing up to the island, and apparently the only way in or out of this island is on a small 2-person motorboat. And they see a mysterious figure dressed like the fucking Gorton's fisherman.
In gold.
Yeah. He's wearing like the rain slicks and the hat. And he gets off and he slowly takes off his fucking raincoat and record scratch.
Yeah, I'm glad you wrote record scratch because Mike's record scratch for me was New York City.
Yeah. Everyone was in a pace salsa commercial real quick. Like, oh my God, it's a black guy. And people are pretty off put by this.
Like how he took off his bright yellow fisherman suit to reveal bright yellow Lakers drip.
He's all in Lakers shit.
Out in Lakers gear. It's just a hilarious scene.
Here's another split for me. So this movie is now I don't know what to take of it. So you're kind of shown as an audience member it's this black man from America / the city, and he's in this nowhere Ireland town. But I would probably have the same reaction because he's dressed like a golden statue. As Lamar said, he's in Lakers gear left and right, but then just starts spouting nonsense.
Oh, this is 5 minutes of weird improv.
And starts skipping up a hill and giving shout outs to people. It was like he woke up from a cocaine nap and was like, "You're on, bro. You got to earn it." And he's like, "Hey, you."
That's a great description of that. That's exactly what it was like. And he just went off for 5 minutes. And it did the typical camera pan across the village. Shows that all their mouths are agape, oh my God, what is he saying? What is this?
As an audience member, I was also wondering, what is he saying and why is this happening?
It's one of the better scenes that I've seen where one culture is introduced to another. Here's a LA guy going to Ireland, speaking gibberish.
Right. And then they're like, "Hey, here's this bar you want." He's like, "I'm going to have my lawyer look at it." Cool. And let's bring you upstairs. And it's this huge spacious room. Let's just remember, he was kicked out of his apartment. He basically fled America. And now this is his chance at life. And this contest probably went on for about half a year, if not longer. So God knows what he was doing for that.
The time framing
living
in this
in a
movie
sewer
is bananas. Also, how did it come with a plane ticket?
Sure.
How did he get here, man?
They're probably like, well, we'll get him a plane ticket because he lives here now. You just got to buy a one-way ticket.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And so, yeah, then they show him the spacious
He's been
room
on that boat since L.A. That's
circling it.
Damn.
Like it's gonna take 6 months to get here.
Yeah.
Perfect.
dress warm.
Maybe he just counted that he was gonna win it. He's like, I submitted it and also
He left
bought,
as soon as he submitted that.
and got myself a boat ride over. Like it's all or nothing. You gotta believe it to achieve it.
That wasn't the town fair. That was a charter.
It's like an American Idol or like-minded shows when you like see people, or at least in the old times, like I quit my job, I sold my house. Like it's all or nothing. They're like, you gotta get.
Yeah,
That
should not have done
overconfidence
this.
that they're gonna make it.
I cashed out my 401k. They're like, whoops. Yeah, well, they show him this spacious room, and my notes are like, yeah, so like, do you like it? And he's like, nope, but I'll make it work. Like he's like super rude to everyone, so I don't really blame the town for anything.
Well-
like this guy is saying crazy things.
Do you know what he does say? He says, it's not Jamaica, but I'm Jamaican at work.
This movie does it to itself. This movie does it to itself.
It does it to itself because most of his lines he's just mumbling to himself.
Well,
It's like some of them land, so it's just like I'm gonna just keep rolling,
Right,
just
also,
mumbling lines.
And I said, like, sometimes, like, like, when he was doing all those phone calls when he was, like, back in the
Yes.
States, they clearly lowered his volume.
Oh,
it was just
yeah.
like, here's a montage of. He did clearly say his nut fell out, which was alarming, and probably like raise it. You heard that, but like everything else was like so muted. You're like, what?
yeah, that's because there was a sound engineer with a slider and someone like, okay, drown him out. No, this is funny. Lower it. Okay, now turn it up again. This sucks.
Peak the volume at nut.
Yeah, we want to hear the
Audiences
nut
love
stuff,
nut.
but it lose everything else.
Hard T.
Yeah, that's how his dialogue comes off.
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Hard TJ.
Just with this.
Um,
I'm gonna hashtag hard TJ, but probably regret what comes from this.
You are. Yeah, that's
will
going to be
regret it.
that's going to be a mistake. But okay, so yeah, he's complaining about his dope ass bedroom in the free bar that he's won. Sorry, pub. But now this is where we're introduced to the bad guy.
Wait, and I think one thing that was said before when he won this, and because I think this is going to lead to what you say about the bad guy, the town was like, we're still short. And like once it was announced that this guy is going to take it and they had not met him yet, they're like, well, you know what Americans are really good at? Like figuring it out. They're good with business.
yeah.
They're drumming up money. So like this guy's going to bring a whole like posse or crew. Like, so the town's actually banking whoever won this, not only is going to successfully run it, they're going to pay off the balance.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. So it's mentioned that they made €1 million from this, and the submission cost was $5. So what is that? Someone who's better at math.
Yikes. How many people will they need for that? 200,000.
200. I mean, if we're counting dollars to euros as 1 to 1, yeah, 200,000.
What if it was rupees from Zelda?
Yeah,
Still be 200,000.
Is there a sliding scale?
there might
What's
be.
the translation of rupees?
Can my
to euros?
bag not hold that much?
It cannot.
No, you can't.
It's a really elaborate scheme that they're
Well, so
running.
yeah, I mean, they had at least 200,000 entries.
Yeah.
and this is who read them all. There's 18 people in this town.
I'm willing to think that they just grabbed 2 random ones
Yeah.
and brought it down to
Like,
the last 2.
these are the 2 semifinalists. Did you read the others? No,
Have this girl pick.
there's no time. Have the mute girl pick. I'll try not to do that accent too much more.
The St. Patrick's miracle.
It is a St. Patrick's
You can do it
miracle.
all you want, Mike.
You know what? St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland, and we're here to drive. We're gonna drive the snakes right into your pants.
They're coming back.
Yeah.
Do you know there's a Snake Island? Have we talked
Is it the
about
one that
this?
you can't go to because of the snakes?
Yes.
I'm gonna go there, damn it. I don't care.
Fuck it, I'm
Fuck
going.
it.
Let's go right
Fuck it,
now.
we're
have,
going.
have we talked about this before?
I don't know if we've talked about it in this podcast, but I am familiar with snake.
Yeah, there's
Island.
like
we
some.
discussed.
Okay, okay. So if
Yeah.
you're not privy to this, listeners, that there's some crazy island out there that is like,
Do you know where it is?
isn't it like? I thought this was somewhere near Asia,
Probably. They're lousy with snakes over there.
but it was like some like island that's somewhat small. No humans are there, but there's more snake
Like there's
Types?
more venomous snake
Yeah.
types. Yeah.
than anywhere, and like scientists have gone there to study it. But that's basically it. It's just
Yeah.
an island of snakes.
The worst
I
island.
was like, oh my god.
It sounds Australian.
Yeah, maybe it's in the new Indiana Jones movie. It goes to Snake Island.
God, I hope so.
I mean, it's Cobra Commander there. It's goddamn Snake Island.
Get all
Right
the
to
snakes
self.
there.
Yeah.
Right to sell. Where could he be? I'm never checking Snake Island. Come on.
No, you need a scientist to go with you. Okay, yeah. So blah blah blah, dumb nonsense. Now we meet the dick guy. What's his name? Like Lord Puffington or something.
I just kept calling him landowner.
Yeah.
I've never written down his name.
No one.
It
It
was
sucks.
something. I might have it.
But so he's making a deal with these 3 town dummies, because this is like a
The
thorn.
McNulty's?
Is that the 3 dummies?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because this is a thorn in his side. That he needs this pub to complete his evil plan that we're going to find out about later, which is also incredibly stupid.
It is long and convoluted.
Yeah, this is one of those things where like you're already rich enough to do this. Like you don't need to do this.
He gives off the aura that he's like Mr. Burns. I traded all for a little more. Like
Right.
nothing will satisfy
Yeah.
him. He's just gonna do evil for the sake of it.
Yeah. My next note is Bloods and Crisps.
I also have that.
Okay. And I don't remember the context of it.
So one of the townsfolk, who is an elderly gentleman, throughout the movie is apparently, I think he is thought of as a bumbling buffoon, especially as he's like, I know all about LA, I know about America, I know about the Bloods and the Crisps and all the gangs. And he goes on about, he's like, soon these people are going to be here, they're going to have guns, there's going to be shootings. And he's like, I'm just kidding. And everyone's okay. And that is Maureen's dad, I believe.
That's
I
right.
think so too.
That's-
And I did appreciate that from him. It was a good performance.
Yeah, because everyone's like, oh my God, this guy's always off his rocker. And he's always like, you guys are idiots. Like, I think this guy is my favorite person of the film.
No, he's pretty good because a lot of people are kind of complaining about the new guy in town, and he's trying to even it out.
And then, yeah, I just have a side note that they need 7 million more euros. They were like, I think that like the old man says it, the dad says it to Maureen, like,
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, this like helped a little bit, but like you still need 7 million more euros. She's like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, well, like that just like bought us some time. I was like, what?
Yeah,
What? Like what? This plan is not. This plan is so broken. I don't even know what to say.
really
Like,
is.
That's the thing. Like, if you owe this much money and you do, raffling off your one liquid asset is a huge problem.
or just like logically, it was we use that to get money to pay off part of the debt, and we all need to leave because the debt is so big.
Right.
It feels like the way it came off is they needed that 1 point for the fend off immediate eviction.
Yeah, there was like a foreclosure.
Or yeah,
concern.
and then the 7 more for I
Right.
don't know.
Because effectively, this whole town is owned by this chode guy, and no one owns
Lord Chud.
Lord Chodington. No one owns their houses, and apparently, no one has ever paid any kind of rent. They just because it's 12 adults and this one kid, and they're all drunk in this bar all the time, and no one has a job to speak of except for the priest.
Here's a weird thing.
Okay.
Imagine being like the one delivery person in town. You're always delivering this bar like beer and liquor, and then you go there and you're paying like 3 to 4 times the amount because this is clearly the only profitable business in town.
Right.
That's a real bummer. Like my job is giving you these
Giving the money
things.
back.
Yeah, I would just like be like, I'm ordering this to myself. Like I'm the delivery boy. I drink at home. My neighbor pitches in. This is dope. Like whatever.
Right.
One hell of a way.
Yeah. But yeah, so the guy that you like, after his weird tirade about Bloods and Crisps, he's like, you know what? I really want to drink. So I'm going to go to the one place in town to do this, despite the new ownership.
Yeah, the people in the town don't want to drink there because of
People don't
the
wanna drink
new
there.
ownership. It's different.
So he's heading to the bar, and he finds, again, the entirety of the population of this town in the town square in front of this bar, contemplating not going into this bar. And he goes off on what I think was meant to be an inclusive speech, but just came off as largely racist about how the Irish are basically black people and we all need to stick together. Which is okay. I guess it's an okay thought, but like it came off as really, really awkward to me.
It was badly, I don't want to say badly, it was oddly placed. And
This is again why I'm saying they like spun a wheel. It's like, what emotional state is this?
Yeah.
So like some of this is like, okay, like mixed matched cultures. What's he gonna say? What are they gonna do? Okay. But then it was like, I'm gonna get real. Our people were discriminated against as well. I've read things about America. Again, like, there's going to be a dramatic, like, score change. This movie was, like, rich with score. Like, strings, pan flutes. I don't know what's going on. But, like, again, I was like, oh, my God. Like, this guy got super serious. He's like, you think I'm a town goof? But I've, like... And he's, like, giving them, like, literal history lectures about discrimination and people being held back. He's like, and now I'm going in. And then as an audience member, I'm like... damn, like that was serious. And then it was like, I love drinking too. Yeah.
Right back to that. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
like, oh.
that leads us into our first of, there are a lot of montages in this movie.
And I think the montages are telling me that the course of time is really just like months flying by. Because this whole movie, I swear to God, takes place in like 2 weeks. But
so there's a scene later on in church where they welcome Jimmy Jam to town, which makes me think that he had been there for less than a week, and a lot of things happened in that time. Anyway,
it's true.
Yeah, they seem to just like gel differently together, which makes it seem like they spent days together. And then other parts of the movie where it just seems like minutes passed.
Yeah.
So, like you said, no timing whatsoever in this one.
I agree. They did gel.
yeah,
Like jam.
like Jam, yeah.
God damn it! Set myself up for that.
Why would you give him that? Don't let him have it.
It's a freebie.
But yeah, so we have the Jimmy Jam fitting in montage, and we see like the cool kids are inside partying, all the lame villagers are outside smoking, but like more as the night or week or days, I don't know how long the time frame is.
It all ends with hugs. I want to note that the montage ends with just hugs.
But as the time goes on, like more and more of the outside smokers are going inside until the only three remaining outside people are the three henchmen.
The McNultys.
The McNultys.
And two of them are really wanting to go in.
And they wait until one of them passes out, and then they do go in.
And then I just have a random side note that it is at this point in time that I feel Eddie Griffin was paid in cocaine only on set and perhaps Bitcoin.
Is this when he was doing his Bill Cosby impression?
Yeah, that is somewhere.
Yeah.
During this montage.
During other montages, there's impressions, there's singing.
No, that is during this montage.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I wrote that.
My notes are loose, but they're here.
Elvis, James Brown,
Yeah.
Bill Cosby. Yeah, the montage is him just goofing around on this mic and people having a good time, and that's what's drawing them
Everyone's
in.
loving him.
And this is where I have said and alluded to earlier that this movie does it to itself. So we wanted to pick a movie that like we didn't know, that represented maybe a perspective of Irish heritage, a comedy-wise, film-wise, whatever. Like not like that it really showed us a culture, but like someone from that culture was like, here's a comedic moment or something along these lines. And I think, as Mike noted, the low-hanging fruit would be like, pick a Leprechaun movie. And then this movie takes a turn where we find out Lord, whatever his name is trying to buy up all this land because he's going to turn it into Leprechaun land.
Yeah.
And I could not, for the life of me, believe it that they went there.
You can't escape the leprechauns no matter what you
No.
do. They're going to come.
Yeah, no, you can't. Yeah.
Can't keep him out.
And so
Purple horseshoes.
his plan is problematic in a number of ways. Logistically, we'll figure that out later. But one is, this is an island that one person at a time can get to on a rowboat. It's probably not the best place for a theme park. But we also find out later on that like
It was built on a bog.
it's built on a bog. The castle fell into the bog. You know what? We built it again.
God damn it.
No,
This plan is just, I don't know.
no.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is weird.
It is
Bog
really
plan.
weird. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, he wants to build Leprechaun Land. So we find out he inherited all this land. Yeah.
And we find this out because he is telling Lord Whatever is telling his servant.
His servant looks like a really tired and haggard Michael Caine.
Yes,
Yeah, I like
thank
that. I
you.
like the servant.
I'm like, is that Michael Caine? Just squinting, like, nah, it's not.
The servant is one of my other favorite characters
Oh,
because
yeah.
I believe at a lot of points in times he's just drinking like very aged wine.
Well, it looks like his room in this castle that he lives in is the wine cellar, and he's just getting fucked.
He has a really nice wine. It's
and-
not nice, but
And good
it's
for
big.
him. This
Yeah.
guy's old. He's been doing whatever, but he keeps being told like, never forget who butters your bread.
Yeah, Lord Chodington or whatever is really, really concerned about this guy understanding his place.
You gotta remember who butters your bread.
You got to remember who butters your bread. Yeah,
Keep your servants down. Make sure they understand.
yeah. So we're the plot points are moving along now, but now we see Jimmy Jam. I don't know if I think he lives in the pub, but he's also heading home for the night or something. And he's bipping and a bopping.
Lord Hailstock?
Lord Hailstock. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's also Lord Hailstock is like the first mate in all of the Pirates of the Caribbean films. Gibbs.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I was like, I knew this guy looked familiar. I mean, you probably recognize
Oh,
he's the guy
like
with the monkey.
like the actor.
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sick.
I can't even
that's
imagine what you were thinking.
No, that's this guy's backstory.
I thought that you were saying that was like the name of the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't fucking know.
No, that's his backstory of the movie.
Okay.
That's how he wound up in this village.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, aside from Eddie Griffin, and the girl, I recognize nobody in this movie.
That's fair.
Yeah, same here.
She was from a movie that I love, and apparently no one else in the world does. The Will Ferrell Land of the Lost. She's like the female scientist.
Oh, yeah.
From that movie.
Yeah, and the montage ends in the greater scheme with her going, ah, ha, ha, like real time, like, you're okay, Jimmy. Just misguided.
Yeah.
You're okay. Just misguided.
Right. But then he's bipping and a bopping.
Oh, the bipping and a bopping around.
And someone throws a fucking fishnet on him and beats the shit out of him.
I have no idea when you
That
throw a
one-
net on someone, aren't you like capturing them? I think they
just
threw a
left
net on
him
them
there.
and beat the shit on them and
Here's
left.
the thing. It won't be the last time a net is cast
God
upon
damn it.
Eddie Griffin
Right, you're so
in this
right.
film.
It's a metaphor.
And so, yeah, he goes to sleepy time twice. And so he wakes up one time kind of in and out, and everyone's talking on helium. It's like, woo, Jimmy,
That was really
Jimmy.
weird.
And then he falls back into unconsciousness land. And
Oh shit, it's Monique.
yeah, he's having weird dreams of Psycho, and she's doing weird things to him. But he wakes up again, and he is in Maureen's bedroom of sorts, and she's clearly attending to him.
Yeah. She tells him he's got a small dick.
Yeah, that's literally she does.
Yeah.
And she had to strip him to get his clothes off.
Yeah.
For whatever reasons, I have no idea why.
Yeah, I also don't know why.
Yeah.
It's a Marty McFly situation.
I know, like if he had a jacket, like you could take it off, but like I mean,
No, he's buck naked in that bed.
yeah, that's the way. So she's like, well, I'm gonna go check on some stuff, and she's really nice about it. She like gets some food, and like she is clearly like nervous, like why would someone do this? And then this dude rolls up and is like, hey, okay, so if we have not established to you, the listeners, Maureen is a widow, and she is raising Kathleen, a daughter who is mute for reasons we'll find out. And apparently, her dead husband, I believe his name Frank, has been deceased for a handful of years. And his best friend comes over and is like, "I'm gonna take care of you." Like,
Right.
you know, I've been waiting on the sidelines too long. Like after his death, not like in life, waiting too long because you've been just caring for yourself. I'm gonna marry you. I'm gonna make a good woman out of you. He says something.
He
like
says
that.
it's time for me to make an honest woman out of you.
Yeah.
He's getting kind of jealous of the relationship between her and Eddie Griffin, and this scene was bonkers for me because this guy, his name is Mike O'Malley. He was the one that proposed the whole raffle system at the beginning of the movie. He's wearing his heart on his sleeve right now. He reaches up to his head and he takes off his toupee like it was a hat and holds it over his heart. And he says, it's Marine.
Yep.
Marine. I know I'm not perfect, and I know you don't love me, but let's lock this down.
And then she says something like, when you put it like that, like, I guess,
Yeah, like, hey, how about you get the fuck out of my house? But then Eddie Griffin comes down. He's like, hey, pancakes or whatever. I'm freestyling.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
we
there's
get
a food fight.
food fight montage.
fight,
yeah. So all of a sudden he's like, "Where's your hat, dude?" And he leaves, and he in a huff. And she's like, "Well, I'm making these pancakes," and he's like, "That's just fantastic." And all of a sudden he like throws a bunch of she throws a little water on him, like kind of like a little sprinkle, like kind of a little cute flirtiness. Then he does like dumps a bunch of water on her, and then he throws flour on her, and then him, and then they're like, hey, get in here, Kathleen.
We're having a food fight.
And then she's throwing flour everywhere, and then we get a food fight montage.
Yeah, and it goes on for a while.
Oh, it does. It does.
And it ends with her and Eddie Griffin taking a walk where she gives him the dead husband story.
Yes. So he died. We already filled you in, and then we cut to the Lord, and he's telling Petticreed, which is his servant's name, that you're gonna go off and bribe Jimmy. I've looked in his backstory. This guy's full of shit. This guy needs money too. We're gonna be win-win. He's gonna get out and go bribe him.
Yeah.
Sounds simple enough.
Yeah.
My next note is, I don't know who said it, but it's a quote that says, "I'm no racist," said after saying something racist. I don't know who said it.
Okay, well, we have two things going on. One, we do get the backstory of the dead husband.
Oh, yeah.
But the one thing I wanted to add is he was killed by a drunk driver, and that is why the girl has not talked since.
Yeah, she hasn't talked since then. So this movie is basically Scrooged.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I have that Eddie Griffin is dressed like a character out of Mortal Kombat in some kind of red Asian silken garment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a Japanese buyout that's going to happen.
Yeah, the plot's moving fast and loose right now.
Yeah. Then I actually said this to both Mike and Lamar as I wrote it. They're like, we're going to have a Japanese buyout and people are just going to buy this island. They're like, yeah, but it's bogland. They're like, that's totally okay. And we're almost done with the film. And I realized that. And I looked at Mike and Lamar and I wrote, here's my note. I think I live in an alternate universe, and this movie is my proof.
You did.
I would like you to explain that to me.
The fact that this movie is made and I'm watching it, I don't think there are moments where Eddie Griffin is filmed, and I swear to God, it's not for this film. I swear to God, it was like superimposed for something
Like
else.
stock footage of him walking around. Okay.
like there are pieces that are not flowing for me. I don't know what's going on. Like, he's all of a sudden then like acting for real. This movie takes like this weird hard turn. Like, I think this is two movies put together. I don't know what's happening.
Well, it might be 3 or 4 movies
Sure.
put
Yeah.
together. It's all over the place.
Yeah. So just to summarize a couple things that have happened, Lord
Hailstone.
Hufflepuff,
Hellstock.
he calls up Eddie Griffin to make him an offer
That he can't refuse.
that he can't refuse to buy out the pub. And we don't know the result of this, but we can assume. Lord Hailstone also provides information to the O'Malley lackeys.
Yeah, he's like, I want you to give him this because this is really going to disrupt how they view Jimmy. Like, Jimmy is like this symbol to rally behind.
Right. Everyone's liking Jimmy, and he's like, you know what? Fuck this. We got to sabotage this.
Are you saying Jimmy likes what he sees?
Jimmy does like what he sees.
Jimmy's new in town. I'm sorry.
Jimmy is new in town.
Is this the story of that Jimmy?
Oh, it might be. I have to look that up.
And we also have Lord Hailstone explaining his weird scam to his butler, the fake Michael Caine guy.
Yeah. And he's like, don't tell anyone this.
Yeah, please don't tell anyone because I butter your bread, etc.
Yeah, he does say that again.
Yeah,
'cause I
no, he
butter your
says
bread.
it a lot. That's his favorite thing to say. But yeah, he's explaining like, so I know this is garbage land, but I have Japanese investors. I'm going to take their money. I'm going to give a bunch of it to a contractor that is actually just me. we're going to find out that the land's shitty. They're going to back out, but I've already taken this money. I'm going to pay something off with half of it, but I'm still going to make 10 million euros.
Yeah.
That's a stupid fucking plan.
All right.
I mean, this is... yeah, okay.
It didn't dawn on me why he told him his plan until way later, but that's neither here or there. Go on.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking...
So here's another weird turn in the movie for me. So the McNulty boys roll up into town, and everyone who loves Jimmy and Jimmy are hanging out, and they're like, wait, something's wrong. And they come and they prove that Jimmy did not write this poem.
Yeah,
that
he
won him-
plagiarized it.
Yeah, it came from this hip-hop artist,
Dirty Dime.
Dirty Dime. And he's like, what? And Maureen immediately is like, hey, everyone, it's just a poem. Who cares? And everyone's like, yeah, who cares? I was like, all right, like, kind of in its essence, like, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But this is like a prize where he won a $1 million pub. So let's not play games. And remember how he won it? There was a tiebreaker. So let's not just like shuffle that off. Like, this guy didn't win. Everyone's like, yeah, like, well, whatever. Then they're like, but he's also going to sell the pub. And they're like, whoa, what? Dude, no. But it's really weird that like no one cares that he plagiarized at all. At all.
No,
at all.
no one gave a shit about that.
Weird move.
Then the McNulty triplets, there's a fight. They kick the shit out of him again. But then he turns it around and he kind of kicks the shit out of them.
Yeah, there was a whole thread throughout this movie where he was jokingly, but maybe not jokingly, saying that he trained with Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
But now he summons the power of Bruce Lee to fight the bigger McNulty brother.
Yeah, and when he kind of beats him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then this is all coming to a head. We're finding out things. Marine calls him a big old phony, and now we have the sadness montage where everyone's just all bummed out.
Yeah.
And there's sad Irish music.
It's the sad flute.
It is the sad flute. Tapas and moodscapes is what we have. I don't really know what's happening right now other than
I called it the reflection montage.
the reflection montage.
That's
okay.
a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He reflects.
I can't read my handwriting.
Well, as Mike tries to
Okay.
read his handwriting, this is when I'm realizing in the film, like, it is really about to wrap up. And this is what I realized. This movie does not have a middle. Like, it's like, we're going to get this guy, and he's going to come in. And they try to, like, throw in a couple montages, but, like, there's really no substance to this film. Like, there's no, they really meet each other. Like, we're in like 4 minutes in the film, the emotions that are revealed to each character comes from effing nowhere.
Well, right. That's because the first act of this movie was 90 seconds long.
That is correct.
The second act of this movie is an hour and a half. The second act of this movie was an hour of this movie. And then the final act was the last 18 seconds. It was all second act.
I think the relationship between Eddie Griffin and Maureen, that pacing showing them becoming friends and just growing together. Like there's scenes where they're holding hands and scenes where they're talking. I thought that was all right.
I felt that went by in like minutes.
Well,
It
like,
did.
what the hell?
It was pretty fast.
It happened pretty fast.
In comparison to everything else, like the bar being sold and the villain doing his devious plots. That was a super fast.
I mean, so from a viewer standpoint, this is what I am exposed to. They took 2 walks around a 1/3 mile village, and they threw flour in each other's face one day. Like,
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, the passage of time is not clear in this movie. Like, you don't know how much time has elapsed, and that makes things really uncomfortable. Because, like, these people are, like, establishing a relationship and falling in love and trusting each other, and all the village is getting on board. And, like, this could have happened in 3 days. It could have happened in 6 months.
That
Like,
is very
you
true.
have no idea.
Yeah.
The amount of outfits that Eddie Griffin wears in this movie indicate that this has taken a long time, but you don't know that.
and where do you get those outfits? He
Yeah.
just rolled up in the ship with one suitcase, and he's wearing at least I counted at least 5 or 6 Laker jerseys.
Oh
that
yeah,
he's
like he
packed.
did not have luggage with him.
Oh, okay. I could have sworn I saw a bag on the ship.
Did he?
but
Maybe, I don't know.
Those were
It's
gifts.
not enough for.
Those were gifts from people from Ireland. They're like, we want you to feel at home.
Right.
Some of your jerseys cost, $8,000. It's okay.
Well, so this island had a pub, a church, that butcher shop that we see sometimes, and a sportswear shop, and those are the 3 businesses there.
That's where I get my sportswear.
Yeah, from Bollywood. Was it called
Ballywood. BALLY.
Okay.
All
right.
right. Because Bollywood's something else.
Yeah, but that doesn't fucking matter. Okay. Where the fuck are we?
Reflection montage. Never liked this.
So, well, basically, it's Jimmy's like, I'm leaving. They're like, you're not going to really sell the place. And he's like, he doesn't really say a word. And Maureen's like, you wouldn't do that to us. And he leaves. And
Oh
so
yeah,
he's
yeah.
gonna
They
sell the place.
confront him, but he doesn't say anything.
Yeah. And so then really quick turnaround rate. You think he's going to like sell the place, but then there's like a laptop delivered. And all of a sudden, like Lord Hufflepuff.
Yeah, he's dressed like fucking Dumbledore in this last scene.
Yeah, which is super
For some
bizarre.
reason.
He's dressed like Scrooge going to bed, and he's about to see some ghosts.
Well, I mean, and this is his Scrooge moment.
Yeah, 90 million euros
Yeah,
drains from
he's
his
looking
account.
at his laptop and like all the money's gone from his account.
And he keeps clicking on numbers like that would
No,
stop
I
it.
mean, if you've never online banked before, that's how you stop money transfers. It just randomly.
Also, when I look at online accounts or anything, you actually see the money like tick down.
Yeah, no,
just like
in
he
real
sees.
time.
It's like, boo.
And if that happens, you can just hit escape and
Yep.
your
Yeah.
money be
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
If you turn it off and on again, it's
Control, delete that.
yeah. Okay, so now, and this is where we have that. Like he gives the town the Skype call.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he Skypes in Lord whatever his name is, Hearthstone, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You can call him Voldemort
Yeah.
if you want.
Hufflepuff.
Lord Hufflepuff. He's Skyping in the town, who are all looking at the same laptop for some reason, and Hufflepuff. And now he is explaining how he knows everything all of a sudden. We don't know why he knows everything, but he's fixing it all. He's got the Asian people, the Japanese investors there. Oh no, the Japanese investors bring the laptop to the bar.
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
how they
And,
got it.
and fake out, you learn now that they were actually working for Jimmy. They're not real Japanese investors.
Oh really?
Yeah. He's like, you think that? Like, because I think he signed all the forms there, but when he's like, those 2 guys bring the thing, they're like, what? Like,
I didn't. I thought.
I didn't.
So let me explain to you what I thought happened, because this is we find out that the Michael Caine butler guy double crossed Lord Hufflepuff because he thought he was a dick, and he was the one that gave Eddie Griffin, the information about what. This plot is super convoluted. So what I thought happened was the butler double crosses Lord Hufflepuff, goes to Eddie Griffin and says, this is the shit that he's trying to pull. And then he and Eddie go to the Japanese investors and it's like, this guy's trying to fuck you. We're going to unfuck you, but you have to take your money back and go to this bar with a laptop.
I thought the same thing, except the Japanese investors I thought just knew the whole time and were trying to scam the old guy.
Okay, well, so we all have different ideas of what this plot was, which should tell you something about how
the
good
plot
it was.
was.
Yeah.
The plot was so just fucking confusing, and
Yeah.
every time he explained it, just there's a new layer of onion to it. Just like,
Oh yeah,
goddamn.
a big juicy onion.
what would you say that Jimmy likes what he sees at this point?
Jimmy does like what he sees. But so this fixes everything. Lord Hufflepuff has.
Well, I don't know if we said the back end. The back end is, we're going to turn you in and you're going to go to prison.
Right.
If you don't pay off all these debts out of your money, and
Yeah.
we'll just call it cool, but it's all going to the town. And if you say anything, your other option is prison. So
Right. So he signs over. And basically, the town is clean. They own themselves now.
if it was the end of Karate Kid 2, which is an amazing film,
Yes.
they would tell the man at the end, he's like, there we go, the deed is everyone's. They're like, and he's like, well, I think it's Mr. like Sato. He's like, Sato, I have one other request. He's like, because he was just like a villain like 5 seconds ago.
That was a nice.
He's like, it'd be really nice if we could have the dance at like the old Bone Temple or whatever. He's like, Miyagi, your student teaches me. That's the moment we needed.
Okay.
Not sure if that would help this movie, but
it would have helped.
Yeah.
Like the land is ours, because there should have been like, there's one other thing, Lord Hufflepuff, give us back the dance.
Right. And so it's also, this is the plot of Breakin' 2, I think. But okay, so none of this fucking matters. He signs over the paperwork. He looks to his Michael Caine butler to go, why did you double cross me? And he's like, you know what? You and your fucking buttered bread. I'm a jam man.
I'm gonna write that.
got him.
Jam man.
and he fucking leaves. And so back at the pub, what's her name is like, oh fuck, I was wrong. I want to bang this guy out. I gotta get him to stay on the island. When does the boat leave? And they're like, I don't know, like really soon though. So she's like, okay. So
And Toupee guy's like, go get him.
Go to him.
yeah, the guy that was trying to propose earlier is like, go get him. And then he pinches the ass of some other chick because
For a long time.
oh yeah, he's in there. He's like finger banging that butthole.
That's to show that he's moved on and his heart is in another woman's ass.
That's correct. And then we and we've broken Paul.
Wow. Paints a picture there.
It does. So she gets to the dock, and then we have some sad boat times. Jimmy Jam's trying to get on the boat.
Damn it, sad boat times. I wrote that.
Did you? Yeah, fuck yeah, I did too. Okay. This is great. We only need to take one set of notes for this.
I know.
Yeah. She's like, I want you to stay. Like, I love you, whatever.
Yeah, that's nuts. Like, I love you. How? Like, I need to tell you, I love you. I love you. And she keeps saying, I was like, hasn't this dude been here for like 2 weeks? What the hell is going on?
2 weks or 2 days.
And then we get Kathleen. She pops in, and I got the
Says,
dog,
God bless us, everyone.
and does a cartwheel like Mary Lou.
Right. She throws away the crutches.
And she goes, so Kathleen, Jimmy, don't leave. My dad left me.
No, not my dad. Me da.
Perfect.
Me da left me.
Yeah, don't leave me.
Don't you leave me too.
Don't leave.
Jimmy, be me new da.
Tugged at the heartstrings.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Okay, well, hear me out. Okay. I have totally got a reality show. It takes place in Ireland, and it's Be My New Da. And it could be whatever you want. It could be just as long as we have that title.
Man.
Be My New Da.
And he's like, you know what? I will be your new da.
He was. She won him over. Mm-hmm. He had a tear in his eye and everything.
He did, yeah.
He broke down, hugged her. Man, fireworks. There were no fireworks.
Yeah, but it does pan forward to, or flashes forward to a winter wedding.
Yeah. And
What the hell was his wedding?
the wedding's going all right until
I declare you a family.
but then Monique shows up.
Yeah, Psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah. I declare you a family, and then Psycho barges in. Like, I want my wedding.
Yeah.
So like,
I love you.
Do
I always have.
you take this woman and this daughter to
Wanna
be your
marry ya.
family?
So let's get super literal here. So
Okay.
Psycho bursts in with a wedding dress. As Mike has already noted, there's one like pontoon boat to get you in. So this woman was wearing a wedding dress the entire time.
Yeah.
Probably with at least a couple people, at least
Right.
people who are manning the boat. Probably a lot of time for discussion like, so where are you going with this wedding dress? What are you doing? So how did you afford this? I have a lot of questions. Then she just gets to an island and just runs there and then runs into a church. So that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's more work than I'm willing to put into most things.
But we don't see a conclusion to that because it freeze frames and the movie's over.
She was
Is the
focused.
movie over though?
Freeze frame. But then we're treated to a fucking music video.
Treated as a word.
We're treated to we are subjected to the Irish Jam music video.
Yeah.
For ending videos to movies, this was all right. They basically just take all the cast members and just
Yeah.
wow out in a music
Yeah.
video.
This was a better element to the film.
I thought this music video, like honestly, like slash UJ, I thought this video was super fun. Like it was. Everyone was just kind of clowning around. The song wasn't great, but it was, you know.
Eddie Griffin is the lyricist, I believe, behind this.
I believe he was.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any other guest rappers who appear, but the whole video is just Eddie Griffin rapping and the other cast members coming in. I don't know if they're in character or not. Just
from what I could tell, based on like the soundtrack listing, most of the songs that the cast members sang, they did it themselves.
Nice.
Except for the one that was performed by MC Luigi.
Oh. I was like, tell me that. There's somebody credited with a song.
Yeah.
Who's named
Crazy
MC
Legs.
Luigi. Yeah, I know you're out there, Mr. Crazy Legs.
But yeah,
Go get him.
That video happens, and then we're treated to something you just don't see anymore, which is a bloopers reel.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah, you really don't see blooper
So
reels
yeah.
these
Here
days.
is my favorite blooper of all of them. Like Lord Hufflepuff, he's like very stern, and he turns around. He's like, "Well, we're going to," and he turns a chair, and he kind of misses the chair with his hand, like he doesn't fully put it on. He's like, "Oh, I've never." Like that was that was the blooper. Like what? Like wow. So you missed the chair by like an inch. We're just gonna redo that. Like
Yeah.
good lord, I'm a professional.
I laughed so hard I cracked the rib.
Yeah.
I mean, like move over, Jackie Chan. Your
Yeah.
blooper reels are crap.
This guy is definitely not going to be in Rush Hour 3.
No.
Damn it. But I did appreciate the adding of a blooper reel at the end of this movie. I mean, it's Eddie Griffin, and he's just mumbling most of his lines, and they're just capturing it. You got to just show all that. And
Well,
they
yeah.
show a lot of it.
Most of the blooper reel was a shot of Eddie Griffin laying in bed just talking about nonsense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like wasn't part of the blooper reel that he's like having his penis talk to a stuffed animal?
Correct.
Yeah.
With the exception of one last scene that saved it, almost the last thing you see in this movie is Eddie Griffin about to fuck a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
It's like
There's
a
no
minute.
nudity. There's no nudity when I was saying
You don't-
that.
no,
But
you don't see
There's
penetration.
just a perspective of what's happening. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're left to think, what is happening?
He lifts up the bear's skirt and he's like, "Man, I didn't know you like bacon because you got all them cakes." And then he puts it right on his penis.
I think that's literally how the movie faded out.
Pretty much. Yeah.
No, you forgot his shamrock swipe.
If you're gonna do an Irish movie, that's how you have
Yeah.
to end it. I will not watch any other Irish movie if it doesn't end with a shamrock swipe.
We don't, do live casts or anything like that, but Lamar is currently wearing a purple horseshoe around his neck. It was very traditional.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
You forgot the big 4-leaf clover medallion I have as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Meg's fluffy hat that he's wearing. Big
Yeah,
4-leaf
that's
clover.
the one.
Yeah. I'm fully dressed as a leprechaun right now. We haven't mentioned that but it's happening.
Mike has a shirt that says "Get on all fours for the 4-leaf." We asked him
nice
to take.
slogan.
We asked him to take it off earlier.
Yeah.
He put on a sweater. Nice.
Never wear that sweater.
No, it's a novelty sweater that has a rainbow leading to my crotch, which is the pot of gold.
It was less offensive.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I only
Mike.
wear offensive shirts.
So how did everyone like Irish Jam?
How did you like Irish Jam?
Yeah, because you
start
seem to
with
be you seem to come in pretty hot on this one. So let's talk about your feelings.
There are clearly moments that I have fun with this movie, but this movie is so disjointed. I truly believe that there are moments where Eddie Griffin is not in this movie. He is just other places, and he is just put in. This is like Bowfinger, where I got you, sucker, and they're chasing Eddie Murphy, and they somehow get him in this film. I really feel that throughout, like that one day we're gonna read something about that, and then maybe because this movie is filmed in Ireland, that we can't really like sue other filmmakers because it was like in another country. Like, and if we did, it would just be a real hassle or a massive hassle.
Yeah, this movie was a massive hassle.
Because that, I like Eddie Griffin. This is not showcasing who he is.
No.
A lot of this movie is just put together so weirdly. So Real Hot and Cold with Me, not my favorite. I enjoyed watching it. I wouldn't say don't watch this film, but this is not going to be like I'm going to come here yearly and be watching this film.
Yeah. Well, also, you'll have to work to watch this film, as we did.
Oh, we watched it on Sumo, spelled with an X, and so XUMO, and I found it, and I was able to put it on my phone. But Sumo on an Apple TV or other devices does not have a search menu, so it was really interesting where I had to use Sumo on a computer for my TV. Very odd.
Yeah, it was stupid, but I mean, no ads, which was nice.
That's cool.
There were ad breaks where the movie stopped, but then it just kept going.
Yeah.
Because no one wanted to spend advertising money on Sumo.
No.
It's coming probably.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, Lamar, what did you think about this movie?
And Lamar, how awesome did you love this film?
On a scale of 9 to 10, what did you think about this movie?
I don't know what to say.
You know, we started off with our first hashtag hard TJ. On a scale of 1 to 10 hard TJs.
What's a soft TJ?
That's a different scale.
Okay. I don't want that scale either.
I have overlapping like Xerox forms that I can put together to show you how they all intercept.
Fuck. A movie. This was a movie. I think, Paul, you hit a lot of good points about this movie being just random with its emotional tone. It's pretty much took probably 6 aspects of movies, like a tearjerker, here's a comedy, here's I don't want to say horror, here's a action movie, and the director just rolled the die and it's like, okay, this is where we're going to put this scene, this is where we're going to put this scene, and it just doesn't have any coercion to it. It's really random with, hey, it's playful, now it's really serious, and it's playful, it's serious, and it's go backs and forth, and it just doesn't stick. But overall, in the end, if you're just looking at it as a movie, it was all right.
Yeah.
Can't say that it was bad. We've seen horrible movies. We review
We
a lot of
have, yeah.
really bad movies. This is not it. You can enjoy this movie for St. Patrick's Day, and for just a theme movie like that. I think this is okay. And Eddie Griffin's all right. I don't hate him either. He's an okay stand-up comedian. If you've ever seen any of his stand-up, you'll get pretty much his stand-up in this movie. That's all I have to say about this movie. It's nothing to write home about.
No,
Mike, would you agree?
Yeah, no,
What did
I
you
definitely
think?
agree. Like this movie is weird for me because I do like Eddie Griffin. Like I said at the beginning, I thought he was the worst part of this. I like a lot of the characters. What Muriel? What the fuck's her name?
Marine.
I like that actress.
Yeah,
I thought
she's great.
she did a
About
good
it.
job. The girl who played the kid, whatever the fuck her name was, I thought she did
Kathleen?
Kathleen. I thought she did a really good job. Like
I agree.
Yeah. She didn't have to speak at all. Just her
Right.
mannerisms and the way she acts.
like
was perfect.
I thought her physical acting was pretty good. The father, I thought was great. The pastor, who it was alluded to that he was like a former Hell's Angel, but the only way you know that is because sometimes he's dressed like he's going to a Misfits concert.
Yeah.
We didn't mention that. He's wearing a sweater.
Well, and it's completely inconsequential to the plot. It's just brought up. And for the last half of the movie, he's wearing a sick T-shirt with a tiger riding a motorcycle on it. I thought he did a good job. Like I felt like a lot of the actors.
The
did a good
pastor
job.
also is immediately at the pub with everyone.
The pastor is always
the
at the
pastor's
pub.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like Lord Hufflepuff, like he was just kind of like a good classic dumb comedy bad guy. I feel like everyone was doing okay except for Eddie Griffin. Like I think what happened is like this was an Irish like produced and directed movie, and I think they were like, we need to get someone from America to be in this movie, and Eddie was like, I'll do it, but I'm not reading a script.
With that being said, how do you think this movie would have like worked with another comedian similar to? What if they got Eddie Murphy?
Well, I think most things would be better with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, that's true. In 2006, I mean, he still was good, but
Yeah, I mean, I know he hasn't been doing like a ton.
do you think the movie would have come off way different?
What if,
No,
what if
definitely.
they got Edward Norton?
Not Edward Norton.
What about Edward Furlong?
Edward Furlong would have made this.
What if this was like Edward Furlong and he just thought he was escaping a Terminator the whole movie? Psycho was a Terminator.
And that would have been fun. Yeah, someone needed to give Eddie a script, and I think we would have been in a better place.
I am also getting a vibe from this film that not only should have Eddie had a script, that I have this theory that he came over, he was like, I'm not working more than what I said I would. Like,
Right, yeah.
Like, I'm reading the script, this is what we're doing today, and we were moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gather that from most of his dialogue. He was really lazy about it. I will say that. It's just
Yeah,
it's a really
I don't
lazy thrown together movie.
But so, yeah,
interesting concept. But
Yeah, like I mean, it's the classic fish out of water tale. I did enjoy watching it. It's an hour and a half long, and it went by in a fucking snap for me.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't go out of your way, and you would have to go out of your way to see it because of
literally
the streaming hassles.
Yeah.
It's also on Stars. We just didn't have
Oh
Stars.
yeah, if you have a subscription to Stars, but that's not something. It's like the one platform that somehow we don't pay for.
If you
Right.
want to go out to Walmart and dig through their bargain bin,
Yeah, it
I'm
might
sure
be
you can find
there.
it at the bottom for $4.
Yeah, so it's not a recommend for me, but like I don't know, if you happen to be watching Stars and it's on, fine, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is this movie is not super dramatic. I think if it really tried to pull at my heartstrings and it went nowhere, I would be a little more like aggravated. I again don't regret watching it. Just I don't foresee myself watching this again in the future or anything like that, or like much later in life.
Yeah.
Good point.
But yeah, like, again, we always had some suggestions as of late. So if there is something any of you want us to watch, just let us know. Hit us up at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com or go to rabbittroopsucks.com proper. Hit us up on that webpage, and there's some forms you could fill out or suggestion boxes. And visit us on Instagram or Facebook, which we have both of.
Yeah.
I think we confirmed that the next movie we're going to be looking at stars two of your favorite people on Earth, some deceased, some no longer with us, and some there. So maybe at one point in time,
Everyone's dead in this movie, is what Paul's
well,
saying.
we got Corey Haim and Patricia Arquette in Prayer of the Roller Boys, where in a dystopian future, you've got to put on some roller blades and start,
Praying.
praying about roller boys.
And pray for him.
Yeah, that'll be. I've seen this movie before with you.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, I guess.
I like the I guess.
I guess.
Come on, Mike. It's no Irish jam, but
No. So it's worth bringing up. You made a joke while we were watching the movie that I thought was really good, and you didn't make it during the podcast, which I feel was a missed opportunity.
what was it?
It was a throwback to TJ from Deuce Bigelow about how he won the pub through Manhole,
Ah, damn.
which was a really great joke. I laughed out. I LOL'd while we were watching this movie, and you didn't bring it into the podcast.
What
So
Mike,
I had to poorly at the end.
what Mike doesn't talk about is when we watch movies together, we're in separate cubes. We don't talk to anyone. It's like deprivation tanks. There's like
Yeah, we
no
have
sense of
our
anything.
movie VR pods that we sleep in.
That's how you do it.
And then when the movie's over, the bell rings and you guys come out swinging.
Yeah,
right.
It's like waking up from stasis in a spaceship. We just get out and we're all confused, and then we come down here to the studio and record this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You unplug in the Matrix and you're like, oh God, all these aliens are using me as batteries. Then you just want to go back in and have a steak sometimes.
That's boiling.
And that's half the plot of the Matrix.
Okay.
I just want that
Did it
steak.
all in like 3 seconds. Perfect.
Oh, he took a pill.
He took a pill and there's some other stuff and bam, that's the Matrix.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's just end. We got to end it. So yeah, we'll see you next week for prayer with, praying on the roller boys.
Prayer Boys.
Ooh, okay.
Prairie Boys.
Whatever the fuck that is, that's will happen next week.
Is that the movie you guys are watching?
I don't want to get involved with this.
Okay. This program's over.
Rabbit Troop 6.
Yes.
Right, Troop 6.